Hello, today I'm going to be doing a cam belt on a Ford EcoBoost engine. So quite a lot of these are going to need cam belt changes as the belts do fall apart if you leave it. So it's something you're going to want to get done. So if you're watching this so you can do this job, then this might help you. So let's get stuck into the job. So before we start, obviously just looking over the engine, obviously just familiarise yourself if you haven't done the job before. Maybe take some pictures. So what you're gonna have to do is start taking out the air box. So you're gonna take the hose off as well. Sorry about the glare. So you're gonna take the air intake pipe off. There's a 10mm there and some clamps. Another 10mm, another clamp. Then you got some breather pipes as well, clamps, and then again 2 10mm underneath. So take these pipes off. Also you got these clips here. So what you do with these clips here, you flick this tab up here, both see there's a little tab. So lift that on the other side, be very careful when you do that and flick it out. And then what you do is on the other side, you can push that in, then you push the pipe towards you when you've got this part pressed in, then pull it out, and that's how that comes off. So I'm going to get them parts removed. So all the pipes are off now, as you can see. So this is the back one. There is a pipe as well that goes around the back here. So that is this one. So you can see there's a clip that you have to press in as well. Then you can pull that off. It is quite flexible, so it does come quite high. So when you start to lift this pipe up, you'll see it, and then you can disconnect it. So now I'm going to remove the other charge air pipe now. So as you can see, then there's a clip here, so just undo that. So there's 7mm, and it comes round. Add the tape and clip that as well. So that's exactly the same. So that's the tab. So once you've got the other part off the back, like I showed you, you push this bit in. As you can see, it comes out. You press it in, and what you do is you push down and up when it's pressed. A couple of other clamps here and here as well. So just 2 clamps, slacken them off. And then you've got some bolts down the side as well. So you can see there, they're 8mm. As well, take off, and then you can get that pipe out of the way. So remove that. So the pipe's being removed now. What I want to do is I need to get this throttle off. So that's my next thing. So as you can see here, you've got one T30, which is right at the top there. Then you've got one underneath here. And then there's one right down in that corner there as well. And you've got this connector. Get the connector off. What you do is you push this tab in here, and push that in. So you have to do it. So you push this tab in here. Let you say here the click, and then you should be able to just put it off. There you go, just like that. And then you say undo them 3 bolts, and that'll be out of the way as well. So that's off now. So you've got another clip now to get off again, same principle to get that off. Then there's 3 bolts, so you got 1, underneath 2. I'm going to try and get out the way to get some light in there. And then you've got this bottom one here, 3 there to get off. So you can see them 3 there, so take them 3 off. And then this last clamp around the top. So as you can see, if you have a look, you'll be able to get these back pipes out of the way, but there is one of them little clamps as well around the back that needs to come off as well. So I'll get that off and I'll show you. So we can see now that's all off. So this one's in the clamps, that's where it is, just around the back. So this is the first one. So it just pulls off into that. So start to see now then the side of the timing case. That's all the silver part. If you have a look, we've got some engine loom, some back pipes coming over the top. So we've got some loom to the coils and stuff. So what I'm going to do now is try and get some of this wiring out of the way as well. So I'm going to disconnect some of the connectors. So I've got the ones for the camshaft adjusters. Got some camshaft sensors. Got a valve pressure sensor. Got the ignition coils. And I'll take the coils out. Got the fuel sensor again. Low pressure for the high pressure fuel pumps supply to it. Then that should come out the way then. So I should be able to get the wiring out of the way. For the back lines, So they're coming over the top here. So there's disconnect here. And if you have a look, it goes underneath there, around the front. So just down to here. So it's connected there, just with a little clamp. So I'll try and get that off as well. So I'm going to undo these two 10mm now as well and get this pop off and out of the way. So the back pipes are off now, as you can see. The loom's all been removed, so I've just tucked it up here out of the way. So the only other thing I did was just pop this, so this bit of wiring here, just to sit in on top there like that. So I've just got something underneath it, just popped it off, so then you can see the bolt, so if you do see that. So what I'm going to do now is just remove the coils, so they're easy enough. Just 8mm there, as you can see, 2 holes in each coil. Take the dipstick off, and I want to start getting this heat shield off now. So you got 1, 2, 3 10mm bolts there. So I'm going to take that off, and I want to get the oxygen sensor out. So I'll mark this oxygen sensor as well, just so I know it's the upper one. So it's before catalytic converter. So there is 2, so you wouldn't want to get mixed up. So always just mark the top one just out of habit, so I know which one goes to the first. Then it goes round here, around the back, and the connector is right around the back here. So it's just one of the same push connectors that I've shown you before. You just clip it in, I believe, but I'll double check when I've got it off just to show you, just in case we just change. So I've got the oxygen sensor out now. This is just to show you what the socket looks like. So this is an oxygen sensor socket. So these are regularly available from places like Amazon, eBay. So I'll just crack it off. So I did spray a bit of WD-40 on there, or any sort of penetrating oil would be good as well. So you just spray it around it, and then as you come in, just obviously make sure it comes out nice and easy. The sensor itself, so there's the one side of connector. I'm just going to show you the other side. It's just a push clip. So where it went round the back, it's a bit dark down here, but it's actually just, it was only just right here. So it's just there, as you can see. You just push that tab in just there. So that's very loose. It just comes around the back. Then you can see the other one as well next to it. Again, just push that tab in there. When you come to undo the second one, pull that off as well. It's nice and easy. It's nothing too technical there to get the oxygen sensors out. Now I just need to get this heat shield off as well. So I'll start taking the heat shield off. So this is where we've got to now. So I'm going to jack up the car now. So you can need to get a couple more window trays off. So heat shields. I've got an oxygen sensor down there. There's also a couple of 10mm on there down the sides. So I want to get that off and get the cat off. Then I can just lower it down. I won't get it all the way off because it's pretty tight connected to the flexi, so I just need to lower it down and lift it sump off. So we'll see that further in the video. So for the time being now, I'm just going to get the car jacked up and get the under tray off. So the car is jacked up and you can see underneath, so I have it quite high off the ground so I can get underneath easy enough. I've got one set of main set of axle stands, and then I've got obviously a secondary set just resting on the sill. So if the first set ever did fail on me, hopefully there's a secondary set. So always make sure you're safe when you're getting underneath the vehicle. So looking at the trailer then, some T30s, and they go all the way around. So easy enough, just whiz them out and the tray comes straight off the car. So underneath the car now, just want to see, so I've already disconnected this from where I showed you at the top. So as you can see then, you've got the one sensor there, so I'll probably just leave this up. Certainly need to take the sensor out, so I might just leave it because I don't want to risk damaging it after. So got the, because obviously when you take this out, there is a risk of pulling the threads out of the exhaust and stuff like that. So, but there's some bolt here, so I'll undo the bolt, and then you can see it has a head, so there's a stud. So that is an E-bit. So I think that's an E8 to that one. So once that nuts off, you can put a socket on there and then do them studs as well. So I'll show you that. You got the flexi, but that's part of the exhaust itself. And what I'll do is I'll just pop the rubbers off here. Then I'll undo the bolts on the side for the heat shields. So there's one there, one further up there. I think there's some around the side, there's one there. So I'll undo them, get that heat shield off, and then I'll undo the bolts at the top. These exhausts should come quite far down then. So that'll be enough for me to get the sump off further along the job. So let's get that done now. So you can see the heat shield is now being removed from the car. So again, got some nuts now need to move. So you've got 4, so 1 there, right on the inside, 2, 3, 4, and then that'll come off and the exhaust will drop down. Before I do that though, I'm going to just disconnect the battery as well. So you want the battery really disconnected to do this job, so I'm going to do that now as well. So they're all out now. And just to show you one of the bolt of this thing as well. So like the intro, so once the heat shield's off, there's a 10mm just located. So it's about, it's just sorry, there, right there. So you can just see the bolt. So that's where it is. So you can just get an extension like this. Just put it on there, just undo it. So we've got that bolt out. So on the heat shield as well, there's one 10mm just here. So if you have a look, the exhaust is all loose, but the heat shield that's connected to that as well. So you just need to do that. One last 10mm, and it'll drop down. So I've got the exhaust lowered down now. So what I want to do next is get this fuel off, and I want to get the rocker cover off. So that's this plastic part here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this here. I believe it's a 17, another 17. Got some Torx pieces, 1, 2, 3. I want to undo the 8mm on this side, and on that side then just push that pump up and out the way. Then there's bolts that just go all the way around this rocker cover, as you can see. So I'm just going to undo all the ones that you can see. Down there, down the back. Again, there's one right down here, it's pretty dark. So there's one down there, so there's a couple down there, and there's this breather pipe. So you can see the top of one here as well. Disconnect the wiring as well, just that push connector there, and clip that. Then I'll just lift this up as well. So the fuel hour's got to come up first, so I'll do the fuel first and then the rocker cover after. And then we'll get to the next point. So the rocker cover and all that's off now, and the first time now is when you're going to start to see the belt. So one needs to do those, get the starter motor off as well. So as you can see here, you've got 2 lever arms, so you need to get both of them off. And you've got, try to get the camera into focus. So you've got one bolt here. There's one located just underneath there as well, so you can see it there. And the last one is just on the side, so wherever it is, it's just located just here. So you've got one there as well. And then you can move that linkage out the way. So these just pop off. So you just get a spanner or something called a little trim fork underneath. Lift up, it just pop off. Then you can get to the bulb end for the starter motor. So that is all off now. I'm just going to try and show you the bolt. So you have a look. So let's come down with the gears were and everything. So let's try and show you down here. So you can see the, let's get a torch. So it is just there. So there's the bolt right there. So that's a 13mm for the starter motor. So that's what you need to take off now. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to start doing some work underneath. So the coolant's been drained now, and all I did was just take this bottom hose off. So I just undid that clamp, just pulled that pipe off, and I drained it into a bucket so I didn't film that. That was pretty straightforward. And the oil filter, so in just the oil. So I just, all you do is just undo this sump plug here, and it all comes out and then put back in. So we'll be replacing this. There's a seal on it, so you are going to replace it. So what I'll do now though is I will move the starter motor. So it is up there. I need to get a torch, can't see. So I'll remove that starter motor now, show you how to do that. So as you can see, this is one 10mm bolt just located there. I'm going to undo that, then start a motor. Need maybe a bit of a tap, a bit of convincing, but it'll come off then. So I'll move it out of the way. Then I'll come around the front because I've got to take off alternator. Well, I'll get the wheel off in, get the wheel arch liner out, it's probably the best thing. And then we'll start tackling the drive belt and the things up the side. So you can see the wheel arch liner's out now, wheels off. So what it is a couple of 10 mils that go in. The rest of it was plastic clips that you flick out, just get a screwdriver, turn them around and flick them out. So nothing really to show you there. So we're onto the side. So as you can see here, there's some bolts holding that on. So 10mm for the water pump pulley bolt. 10mm bolts on the water pulley on. And you got this boost pipe again. It was 7mm and that. So they clamp there, so I'm just going to do that. Move this pipe out the way and do the pulley bolts. Then you got the belt, so if you pull, so I'm just putting this down, you can see it goes, but you can see where the 3/8 goes in there. I think it is a 1/2 inch. And as it comes around to that far, you can see then you can put a pin through that hole and hold it there. So, like that. That's to keep the tension off in. So I'll get that done. Then what I need to do, so I've got the aircon here, so there's one bolt there, there's one bolt up here, so it's just dark again. So I'll get the torch when we get to that point then and show you what's going on. But there's one 10mm here from what to carry on, so then there's one just there, up there. So there's 3 of these 10mm, so you need to get them off and pull that out of the way. So I'll get to that. There's one connector as well on there. There's one connector here as well. So 2 on the pump, but 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom to do. So this one engages the clutch. This one does the control valve. So I'll do all of that and then we'll go to the next steps. So I've got the air conditioning compressor off now. So this is where the top bolt was, just there. So I could see it when I looked through the wheel arch. So when you come up here, you could just see the bolt. So just waiting to just through into here. So it's quite easy to get a ratchet on it and do it. Now, looking at the side then, we've got the alternator. So I need to get this tensioner off. So you can see then, some bolts that just hold it on. So there's one there. And then there's one just there above it. So just get them 2 out, pull that out. Then I can then do the 10mm that hold the alternator on. So 1 there and 1 just there. Then just bring that down the bottom. There is up with it an electrical connector. So what I've done this side as well is I've just disconnected this here. That was also clicked into that sensor. So just push that yellow tab in there and pulled it off. And this wiring was just clipped onto there, so just unclip that. So on top of the alternator then there will be a couple of connectors as well. So underneath this cap here, so you pop that cap up and then you can get to the 13mm, I think it is underneath. And there's as well, there's an electrical connector there that's on the back of it, so undo them as well when you take the alternator off, and then you'll be able to get it down out of the way. So I'll get to the next stage. So now what I've done is I've put the timing tools on, as you can see here. So these are the tools. So if you have a look here underneath, you can see there is a flat piece there, so that's how the tool goes on. So at the very end of the video I'll just go through the repair instructions, so it'll give you a bit of an idea what the manufacturer and how it tells you to set them up. As you can see there, the tools are on there. Also what you do is if you have a look underneath, you have to put a tool inside where the flywheel was. So I'm just going to get a torch on that for you because you can't quite see it. So having a look at there, as you can see there, the flywheel is locked off as well. Stops the flywheel moving. What you do then is you put a torque multiplier on it, or you get a very big bar and you undo this nut here. It's a 21. I've already undone it, so I'll just put a big bar on there and manage to crack it off. But I do have a torque multiplier as well, but it is very, very tight. So once you've done that, what you can do then, so the timing tool's on the top, the crank is locked, the tool. Then undo all your bolts that go around for the sump. As you can see, a bit of a wiring connector as well there that's going to have to be undone. And then you can see they are all the way around. So I'm going to do all them bolts all the way around, and some on this side as well. So I'm going to get all of these undone. And then what I'll have to do is I'll have to pry the sump so it is bonded together. So there isn't a gasket, it's held together by bonds. So I'm going to have to put something in there and crack that bond off. Then what I'll do is I will feed it over the top and round this exhaust to get it off. So I've undone on the bolts, as you can see now, the sump is off. So you can see what's going on. So this, what I do as well is put cardboard boxes underneath, just because it will drip oil on you. So what I need to do now is I need to get the timing case cover off. So what I need to do is just take the pulley off the end. So I'll undo that 21mm bolt there. And what I'll do then is I'll just undo these bolts up the side that are going at both sides. So when you get to the water pump, you don't need to undo the water pump, that can stay on the case. So I'll show you when I've got the case off. Up the top, there's a bit of work you're going to have to do as well, so you have to support the engine. Because you need to take this mounting off as well. So you can see there's a few bolts here, 1, 2, 3. There's one there, one here, one down the back there. So you got to get them off. And then there's a coolant pipe here at the front. It's 2 8mm, so there's one here at the very top, just there. And there's one underneath. It's going to be very hard to get on the camera, I don't think we'll be able to show you. There is one underneath on the other side that you'll have to get to as well. So you can see the engine mount's off now, timing case cover is also off, and then you're left with the belt. So to get the belt off now, so all you got to do is just remove the 2 belts. So you got to remove the front belt and the back belt. So you can see then that belt comes off. So just to show you, what you want to do is grab this part here, the tensioner, the lower part. As you can see there's a hole on the other side as well. So what you want to do then is just lift this up. Let's get it in there decent. So like that, so there you can see. Then you can see you can back. Oops, slips. So as you can see it's quite tricky to grab it. So you can get that, you can see there, if it lifts up and it takes the tension off, and you can put something in that hole. And as you do that, you can see it's taking the slack off the belt. So once that's in there, take the belts off, swap them over. That'll have a pin in it when it comes to torque the bolt up, pull the pin, and then the belts are on. So I'll just get to that point. So the belts are off now. Put the new belt on. So the new one just pushes over. So you put it over the top bit here and just feed it onto the sprocket underneath. Then you have the tensioner, and you can see then, so this is where the bolt is here, which is the top one. And you've got this little peg there, so that peg needs to go in that hole. Then you can put the bolt in like that and tighten it up. You can see the tension's already got off. You can see the pins in there, as we said earlier. So just going to get that in now. So I've put the cover back on now. So it's all sealed up, so we only need to put sealant all the way around. So that is all done. So also put the cover back on the bottom belt, that just clips on, so it's just got this little bit here, so you just flip the plastic off. One thing before you put it back together though is you need to get all the bits out of the strainers. You can see where this bit of belt was starting to get everything blocked up, so you can see how much is in there. So what you do is just put something in the hole, leave it down, flick it off, clean it out, then just put that back in. So we're going to do that. So what it needs to do now is tighten up this crank pulley. One thing to tell you, which is really important, is you need to get one of these. So this is a thrust washer. So this goes through the pulley. So on the engine, when you take it apart, this part won't be on the engine. So when it's produced from forward, this isn't on there. It's really important, because if you don't put this on, when you come to tighten up the crank pulley, what will happen is the crank pulley will try and turn with the bolt as you're tightening it. What you need to do is the crank pulley needs to stay still as it's turning, because you need to put, so in the crank pulley itself you have this top hole here. So there's a crank position sensor on the case, and what that's doing is it's looking at the position of the pulley. So that's how it gets the crank position. So this pulley needs to be timed up as well. So you've got the hole there, you've got this little hole in the timing case here. So what happens is you need to have this put for the hole and for the timing case hole like that. So when you're tightening it, it's very important that this pulley does not move, and that's why you need this washer. So very important that you put the washer on. So I've tightened the bolt now, so you have to get a specialist crank pulley tool. There's lots of them available on eBay. But once you've tightened up that bolt to the specified limits, I'll share the limits at the end of the video. You have to make sure that that peg there is in time. As you can see, that's bang on. So you have to make sure as well. So I need to show you, you've got to put the crank timing pin in here as well. As you can see, it's against the crank, which it is flush against. But you know it's good because you put the tool on earlier, so the crank wouldn't move because you've got your special tool on. And we put it on the early stages. And also, you know, your cams are on as well. So, as you can see there, that's all still set up beautifully. So, now what you got to do is reverse of everything to put it all back together. So I'm not going to film myself putting it back together at this stage. So, but I'll show you all the torque settings and everything that I've used. So just looking over the torque settings now. For this, as you can see then, at the crankshaft pulley, it tells you the first stage is here, 25 and 70. Then it shows you obviously put the special tool on, so this is the torque multiplier I'm on about. That's the part number there. It's ready if you want to go find that. Then you see when the tool's on, then you do it. Sorry about the focus here, it seems to lose your focus. So as you can see then, it's 60, 90, 90, 90, 90, 90. So that's the torque setting for that bolt. So everything we spoke about's on there. Here engine mount, so it gives you tightening torque for that. Sensor, solenoids, exhaust pipe, clamps, high pressure fuel pump, the valve cover 10, timing case cover, and as you can see here, shows quite a listing of bolts. As you can see where they all are. And then it tells you all the stages and about tightening all these up. You see quite a lot of information there about how to do the bolts up for the timing case. And the starter motor torque, tensioners and stuff like that. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video and all the information is useful. Please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you like it. And thank you for watching.